7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm
like, well, holy shit, that was crazy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings. We are wrapping up Hangtown. Now, if you're wondering, are we going to scroll the finishing order along the bottom? The answer to that question is absolutely not.
It's a lot.
Dude, I don't have time to put 160 names in and freaking...
A total of 80 names you'd have to put down. 40 for 40 and 40.
Yeah, but I have to do it twice.
Oh, I know. That's what I
like to roll through it twice.
Oh,
so,
it's too much.
Yeah, so the answer is absolutely not, because it took me like 2 hours to do it with Supercross.
I'm surprised you did the whole 22 in Supercross. I thought you were only going to do the top 10.
Yeah, no, we're not. So, yeah, no, sorry, we're not. If you want to look the order up, RacerXOnline.com.
Or MX Sports.
Or MX Sports, whatever. You can see the finishing order there, but we're not rolling it across the bottom. So, sorry, I'm lazy. It's summer. Deal with it. Anywho, let's get through this boring stuff. So please subscribe if you haven't already. We have been getting a buttload of subscribers. I don't know if you looked at the actual channel itself.
Got a decent amount of views in that couple outdoor videos.
Yeah, we do. So so thank you all who have subscribed. Get your friends to subscribe. We want to continue to grow and get bigger. You follow us on Facebook. I post updates and stuff there. If stuff breaks during the week, sometimes I'll link different articles and stuff from other sites because we don't necessarily get the first crack at it. But I don't have any problem sharing someone else's stuff just so you guys can all come to one place and find info. So you can also follow me on Instagram. It is riding season and I've started to post more motorcycle related stuff. Motor scooters stuff. You can also, if you want to support the channel here monetarily wise, is that the right word? Monetarily? There's Amazon links down below. You can click on those and it'll take you to a page on Amazon, and you don't have to buy what it takes you to. You can just keep clicking through Amazon wherever you want to go and buy whatever you want, and it helps us out. We get a small slice. You can also donate on Patreon. Joe. That was the last guy. Sure. Yeah, hey, Joe, dude, send me a DM or something with your address, because it's not on Patreon, so I haven't been able to send you anything. I've been meaning to send you an email, but hopefully you'll see this. So anyway, yeah, so send me your address so I can send you some stuff. And then also, if you want to, you can go on Teespring and buy t-shirts, and I have a sick new t-shirt design, right?
Yeah, he was all excited about it when he texted me, guys.
I played with Photoshop for a while, and it is awesome. I will link it down below in the description so you guys can find it.
You realize we're going to have to like buy shirts for the Red Bud National now?
I'm buying that one. I'm buying that one. That's not even a question. Yeah. I'm pumped on that shirt. I might buy 2 or 3. I don't even know.
We'll have to wear it on National Day.
Yes, we will. Ooh, it's a black shirt.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait, no. I made a tank top version, too.
Oh, did you?
Boom!
Oh, I gotta buy that one.
We're in, buddy.
I was about to say, I'm not wearing black at Red Bud in the middle of July.
We could buy black hoodies. I mean, it would be great. But yes, no, I did make I made a hoodie, a tank top, and a t-shirt version of that.
Nice.
Dude, I spent some time.
They look good.
I spent some time. I know it looks great. It's like a professional t-shirt almost.
That'd be best exposure possible. Running around National, 55,000 people. Like,
yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. So anyway, let's move on to the track. I thought it sucked.
I like the changes that they did because Hangtown's been the same for a good 10-15 years.
They changed a lot.
But the problem is the way, and that track, if anybody, you know, if you're new to motocross, you know, you might be watching this, you might be new to motocross, but Hangtown is pretty much on a camber. 90% of the track is on a camber. Even coming down the straightaways, you got little angles, you know, a lot of little pivot points before the rollers and stuff. So I like that they try to utilize their elevation change, but the problem is the way they did it and as narrow as they made it, it was super one line. I mean, that first camber where you came back up off the hip double when you came back into view, I mean, you literally, even if you tried to stay super tight, you couldn't get the bike to plant without skating as you pivoted out of the corner.
Yep.
And then I like how they came back down for the second camber and everybody was staying tight in the fucking hay, and Barsha was the first one to hit it, and then Gio goes, Yeah, I don't know why anybody's not going there, and I do, because it's like on a 90-degree angle. Like, nobody's going to get their bike planted.
I'm going to say, they said that the hill there was super steep. They threw hay on it, which is really sure dumb. Why they did that. But if you actually look, because, okay, when Barsh went inside, I was like, oh, cheater line, like, whatever. But then you actually look. If you, like, pause it and look close, you can see the yellow markers are, like, 25 feet farther inside than what everybody was going. Yeah, so it was, like, there was a lot of room to go farther inside, but you couldn't do it.
And the problem was, even if you could, I mean, dude, you had to start loading up on the brakes right as you came down the backside just to get diving the inside, because how hard it dropped off and it would drag you. The problem, though, with the way that corner hooked at the exiting of it, if you did go to the inside, you were literally straight for the apex. So you had to, like, arc it really hard and stuff, and that's why that rut just never formed, because Barsha was the first one to blow it out. I thought it would have been better if they would have ripped it super deep, and I know that GL and Weege alluded to that on the practice show. They just didn't rip it super deep, which is not normal for them because all the rice hulls that they bring in.
Yep.
But I like the changes. I really do.
What about all the whoops and rollers and everything they put fucking everywhere?
Uphill whoop sections can be good and bad because I mean, dude, you've seen a lot of people, like, they were so small, you couldn't get the bike to load up, everybody was super stiff. But the problem is it can go either way. It can either really separate people, or you can get a lot of people that'll bitch about it because, like, you could skip across and just drop right into the pocket of a face. But I did like some of the lines that people were doing on that little roller at the top, like they were tagging the top of it with a front wheel and just soaking it up. But I mean, let's be real, everybody was kind of like, what, going quad through there by the second motos?
It was kind of dumb. Like that, okay, the first mogul section there after all those off cambers.
Yeah, let's just go to the inside.
Yeah, if you went all the way to the, I guess it'd be the right for them, which was the left side if you were watching on TV, like, it was flat. It was just a flat straightaway. That was all there was to it.
And why are we putting walls in on an outdoor track?
Because
like, dude, I know that everybody, like, they just launched into it and just kind of stretched it and would, like, double into the corner where they kind of go. Well, Kenny didn't because his wrist was so bad. I mean, as hard as you had to G out into the face. But why are we building wall jumps on outdoor tracks? Like, dude, now I don't know why this is becoming a thing. It's so one-lined because if you're going to do it, you have to build, like, a backside to, like, launch into it, unless you're just launching to flat and you, like, want to break your wrists.
Yeah,
I don't know why we're doing that.
I wasn't a fan of that track, to be real honest with you. I mean, as bad as it is before this year I was like...
Well, now we're going to go to a track that's been the same for, you know, ever. Glen Helen this weekend.
Yeah, we'll get into that next week. So, anything else about the track before we move on to the racing action here?
Not really.
Which also is why we have the computer here, because this way I can tell you who did what when we start talking about them.
All right.
Great. So, sorry about all this going on here, but this has to be. Just has to be.
Has to be.
All right. 450s. Okay, 450 class. Before we get into this, if I have to hear GL, and I love GL, he's awesome.
Oh, we all love GL.
But if I have to hear GL one more time, tell us how stacked this 450 class is this year when it's not, I'm gonna scream.
Oh, it's not.
It's not a touch screen, bro.
All right, guys. So
once you get outside the top 10, it's not stacked.
Let's just do that. And we're not throwing shade at any of these guys. I mean, still, let's be real. Even if you're a local guy, these are 40 of the best guys. 40 of the best, not the best.
Speaking of local guys, though, did you hear that they did something and the entry fee was only $50 this weekend? I
saw something. People were bitching about it, but I never really paid attention to what the whole thing was.
I don't know why they'd be bitching about it. It's like $200 off.
Oh yeah, well,
compared to normal.
So let's go on this, guys. After Jake Masterpool in 14th, great, but let's go. Dylan Merriam, Kyle Cunningham, Ben LeMay, Brandon Leith, Tokishi Tamita, Dar DeMar TL, Brandon Shearer, Kate Audenreith, Josh Mosman, and Bradley, and I'm not gonna. Oh, and a guy named Austin Kuba got 27th. Guys, I'm here to tell you, 10 of those guys I've watched for a long time at amateur nationals, and none of them have won titles. So we're not throwing shade right now, but I get it. Like, I just tune that out when I hear it. I mean,
I just was like, why are we talking about it? Like, literally, you go outside the top 10, there's...
I don't know if you saw this, but
in relative terms, no one.
Yeah, a lot of them are local kids. I mean, like, half of those kids are from Southern California, but they were talking about this. The top 10 in the 250 class yesterday in the lap times at the end of the second motos, if you would have put them in there, the top 10 would have been third back in the 450 class. The only guys that the top 10 were not faster than was Marv and Eli.
Jesus.
Like, whoever got 10th the second moto in the 250 class would have beaten, like, Benny Bloss and Christian Craig.
Jesus.
But the track was gnarly. But we're just, yeah, like, I am sick of hearing it. But I think that he just does that to give respect to the U.S. guys.
I guess, but man, I'm like, come on, bro. Seriously? Like, it's not stacked. We all know it's not stacked.
And you know what the sad thing is that it's not like we're missing, like, a lot of guys that would be contending for Moto wins. Like,
not for Moto
Cooper
wins,
Webb
but...
Okay, Cooper Webb and Cole Seeley and Josh Grant.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you put Bradley Taft and Kenny because he's hurt backwards. A couple spots, like, big deal. This is the way the 450 class is. It's going to get stacked when the 250 guys go in, but it's the 250 class that's stacked.
Yeah, for right now, yeah. So anyway, so let's start. Phil, whole shot second race.
And that ridiculous neon yellow
gear,
green, whatever.
As what did they say? He could have had a night race.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even need lights to see him, which is totally true. But good on Phil for getting that whole shot, so that was great.
Did he end up where you thought he was going to?
9-9 for 9th overall. Yeah, that's pretty much... I mean, for starting the year, and he didn't really know until late here that he was going to have a ride to even ride outdoors.
He rode good.
I would call it okay.
I mean, it showed though after he ripped that hole, he couldn't run the pace for more than a lap.
I mean, yeah, because what did we say? It was top. We called him top 5 10. Or top 10 for the year or something like that.
7 to 10 maybe.
Yeah, so I mean that's in there. So I'm not gonna.
I mean, Benny Blossom was blew his knee out.
Yeah, but Ben had a good ride.
Second moto.
Yeah, I mean 10-5, 7th overall. That's not a bad way to start the year.
Better than I thought, to be honest with you.
Could be worse. Yeah, because I would have put him like 10th to 15th.
That's what we had him pretty much, 10th to 15th.
So yeah, so Benny good. Okay, let's want to start with these guys.
Let's start with
the downers first.
Well, who's the downer? Baggett?
Yeah. That was a huge disappointment, right?
But think about it. He did the same thing he did last year. Now, I called Baggett for the win at Hangtown. We did the bench racing. But think about it, man. Like, what? He went out and laid an egg last year at Hangtown, and then he picked it up at Glen Helen and got like 2nd or 3rd overall it was because he had a good second moto. But, I mean, I'm sitting there watching, and I'm going, man, what the hell's going on with Baggett? And then we didn't get to see him much, so I couldn't tell if it was like him, a physical thing, because he's been riding outdoors for a month. There was a bike set up. And I'm like, wait a minute. He did the same exact thing last year, so, like, he's still my pick, and I'm not worried. But I don't get, like, how you can go from riding outdoors for a month, get podiums in Supercross, and then come out and lay an egg. And did good the second moto, but, I mean, just be that far off the pace. Like,
yeah, I don't understand it either, because all the talk was, oh, he's flying, which they all are, but it was he'd started riding earlier.
I think Baggett is one of those things where, like, and Jason Thomas has alluded to this on the Pulp show, or the review show, I should say, that Baggett is one of those guys that he's got to come out and put it in right at the beginning of the day. Like, his practices have got to be good. And then it's kind of like Cooper Webb. And that's an indicator for what the day's going to be. Dude, I think his first practice, he was like 10th fastest. And I'm sitting there going, ooh, yeah. I don't know if that's going to get better. But, I mean, I think he's in a better spot than he was last year because I think he was like 8th overall last year at Hangtown. So, I mean, he's still in the points. We got 22 races to go, 11 rounds. So I'm not saying it's over with.
I'm not saying it's over with either. I'm just saying
weird.
For the opener, it was a downer of like,
it's weird for
hyped more than that. So.
Well, but he did the same thing in Supercross though. If you think about it, like I don't know what it is. He's been doing this long enough.
He just can't. He doesn't start fast.
Apparently, so, I don't know what it is. It is weird though. I will agree.
You want to go to Barsha next then?
No, actually, let's go to Anderson because were we just completely
4-6?
Were we just wrong?
Dude, I think everybody was, but okay, here's the thing. So obviously we all heard that he had told Cooksey, like, dude, if I win the Supercross title, the hell with outdoors, I don't even care. And then all of a sudden, now I'm hearing they told different people over the last week of, well, I'm coming in outdoors because I don't want to be a one-and-done guy and all this shit like that. So it kind of was like, yeah, what was he doing? Was he really, oh, I don't care, or was it, oh shit, maybe I should care. I don't know.
He dropped anchor that second moto though after starting off. I mean, dude, when he was looking over and I'm like, oh, there it is. Oh, it's over. It's done.
He dropped anchor that first moto there for a while.
But I mean,
tight. Dude.
Oh yeah, well when Barsha was closing in on him. Oh yeah. But I mean.
Oh yeah, second moto though too. You're right. Oh yeah.
I got to give him credit though, man. He did better than I thought. I mean, we said out of the 6 guys that he was probably going to be the 5th to 6th guy until Kenny, and then maybe the 6th guy when Kenny got going. But I mean, I'm watching that first one. I'm going, really? Like, what? Did we just miss the mark on this? And like, he actually does give a shit? Because I'm here to tell you, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Nope.
I would have said the first round he might go 8-9.
Yeah.
So I was shocked.
To go 4-6. That's I guess. I mean, hey.
Hey, it is what it is. Maybe he does care. I don't know.
I guess.
We'll find out.
All right, now let's talk about Ken now. Let's move to Ken. What did you think of Ken's day?
Well, I told you in the group text 5 to 7 if he gets a start, and he got 6 the first moto.
Yep.
The second moto, you could clearly tell 10, 12 minutes in, dude, he was laboring. Like, he was in pain.
Yep.
I mean,
he started going backwards in a hurry.
But Hangtown, and he said it before, you know, he wanted to race himself into shape because another thing they talked about, they go, well, he said, if you're off for a couple months, then you can do it. But if you've been theoretically off for a year and a half, like, it's hard to come back from that. And he's like, I just want to race. I just want to get into this.
Yep.
And Hangtown is not the track that you want to do when you got 2 arm problems, not only because of the cambers, because of the no traction, so you're tiptoeing through, but it's square edge, and I know we hear it, it's talked about way too much, but as square edge as that track got, it's not the track that you want to go to, and especially with the uphill whoops and then the wall, and it's just, you're really on edge the whole time. And you could tell,
when you saw him, he would like go into that wall after that first little mogul roller section, and he would not attack that like what a normal Kenny would have, or even like you saw Eli or any of them do it. He was very timid going into that wall to not press into it too hard and jack his wrist back up. So
it reminded me of A1. It reminded me exactly of A1, just super timid, and you're just like, you could see with his upper body, and Kenny always has this loose, flowing, just fluid style, and he was just like this the whole time. Like, you literally could see how hard he was gripping, and he would not move, and you're just like, well, but we said in the preview show, he's got to get through the first few rounds, and he's 11th, it's not great, but if he can come in and get a couple more top 10s, and then by, what, maybe High Point, because they got a 2-week break after Thunder Valley, if he can get top 5s, I mean, with the guys that are in front of him and, you know, the title contenders not being that consistent, I mean, dude, he could Dungey this up for the first 6, 7 rounds and then just maybe go on a win streak.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, I don't know. But 6th place first moto, that's better than I thought he was going to do.
Well, and you got to look at it, too. Not only 6th place, but he ran up front both motos.
He did.
The second moto, he was in 3rd for a couple of laps.
Yeah, like 3 or 4, I think.
So it's like, not only... I mean, I don't think it was a bad ride for coming out and being hurt. And, like, I mean, he said, like, 2 weeks ago I would have told you I wasn't riding Hangtown. So, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I feel like from what I've heard interview-wise, the attitude going in is just, well, we're just here to race at this point and do what we can, and that's the way it's going to be. So, I'm with everyone else I've heard talk this week that if he can continue to just keep his head on straight of, I don't need to win, I just need to go out there and ride and get through the season and finish and then have a good off season going into Supercross. Okay.
Well,
great.
Yep.
He just needs to not get hurt.
And let's not forget, that was literally his first ever outdoor race on a Honda.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know we know that these guys come in chasing setup. They think they have something perfect because it's good for the practice tracks because obviously it doesn't get rough. You're not pushing the pace consistently, so your bike's not heating up as much, so the suspension's not going through the motions as hard. That's the first ever time racing an outdoor race on a Honda. On one of the hardest tracks to predict what it's going to do by the end of the day. You know, so I'm in the same boat, but what I'm really curious is where his mindset's going to be if we get to the 8th round and say he's 100% in his mind. He's 100%. Maybe not realistically, but he's actually 100% in his mind. Say we're at the 8th round and he's 5th in points because it didn't go as great the first couple rounds. Do you think that he still goes in with the same mindset, just get through the year, or do you think that he just says, dude, I want to put the beat down on these boys and win?
I don't know. That's going to be tough with Kenny because he's been so good so much. So
and he's also, and we're projecting way ahead, but he's also said that he is going to ride the German MX of Nations team this year. And I think that that's another thing that he wants to prove a point that's like, look, like I'm worth the spot. I'm not just riding around here and, you know, so it's very hard to predict with Kenny, but I'll be really curious to see what happens come the halfway point, where his mindset is.
Yep. So now I guess we can move on to podium guys here. So let's start with Barsha. I mean,
dude, you gotta be happy.
Was that really a surprise to anybody though?
No.
I mean, as good as he's rode all year, and we know he likes outdoors a little bit better, I guess you'd say. He's better at outdoors.
He's got more wins outdoors.
Yeah, so I didn't see that as a surprise going 3-3 on the day. So
I mean I kind of echo everything you said. What I'm curious is that I know that the racing was good for a while, but the fact that Marvin and Eli were that much further ahead, which they did the same thing last year, but the fact that Barsha was that much better than everybody else. Like, that's what shocked me. Like, I know that Anderson, we don't know really was, Baggett, Kenny, But we kind of all jumbled them in there together, and, you know, because we didn't know where Eli was going to do, because Eli does what Eli does and everybody else. But I was a little surprised that Barcia was that much better than everybody else, aside from Marv and Eli. Like, I thought it would be closer. And granted, like I said, the racing was close for most of the day, but there was no point during those motos that I'm sitting there thinking, well, Barcia, there's no way he doesn't get third. Like, he's clearly better than Anderson, Baggett, and Kenny and everybody else. Like, I felt that he probably could have crashed and still got third. Yep. That's what I was most shocked by. Not shocked that he got third, just the fact that he was that much better than everybody else because he could wick it up at any time. That's, I think, what shocked me the most.
Yep.
So.
Okay, and then top two here. So Marv.
You know what?
Were you impressed by how fast he was going that second moto? Because he was floating.
What I'm really curious is what would have happened had, and I know that Eli won his by as much as he did, but everybody knows when you get out of your mindset gets out after making a mistake, it's hard to get back in that groove. What would have happened had Marv never gone off the track, going into that tabletop, fading left?
So I got a question for you, because obviously I was listening to, we'll call it Schmain Event Schmoto.
Schmain Event Schmoko. Schmer Spaniel.
Do you think he deliberately went off the track?
Oh my God, I saw the same thing.
Do you think?
No.
You don't think so?
He had 2 seconds on him.
I guess.
What was he thinking was going to happen? Tomac was going to blitz him going up an uphill whoop section?
Yes. Did you see how fast Tomac was?
No, man. I saw the same thing. That's all over the message boards. No, not at any time did I think that. But I'm curious now. Maybe Tomac still would have won because I think there was like what 12 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago.
Tomac was winning. Yeah, there's not a question.
What I'm curious is that would it have gone down closer to the 2-minute mark with 2 laps to go, or would he got around him? Because I mean, Marv rode better the first moto than he did the second moto. Like, I think that the second moto, when Marv got a shit start, he knew that the only way he was going to beat Eli that day is he had to get a start and he had to sprint away. And he had to make Eli chase him and make him ride Marv's race, not Eli's race. The second moto, they were all bunched up, and you could tell Marv looked over a couple times. Not like one of these, but he's just kind of like glancing around. And you could tell that he was worried, like, okay, where's Eli? Yep. Because if I get passed in the pack, then I'm going to have to either latch onto him and bonsai through, or he's just going to get away from me. And I think that race did not bode well for him, because Marv is one of those guys that works better when he's out front. Mm-hmm. And I know that a lot of people say that, but we also know that some guys work better coming through the pack, because then you can just lay it all on the line. Marv works better when he's got a gap on people. Marv is crafty and he works his way through, but he's not better when he has a sense of urgency to get to the front. And I think that's just what happened. Now, I think Eli still would have won that first moto, but I don't know if it would have been as much.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think it would have been closer.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eli was going to win no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Eli was...
But, and we'll get to this when we go to the 250 class, Eli won Hangtown 1-1 last year. What happened when we went to Glen Helen?
Marv won with a 3-3.
No, 3-1. No, 1-3. Anderson won that. Or Anderson won the second moto, remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is, and we'll talk about this in the 250 class because I know we're going to get into that, we put all this emphasis, and we kind of like what we do with A1. We put all this emphasis on who wins.
First round.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter, and it's great. And you know what? 1-1. They did. Both winners did the same thing they did last year.
Yep.
And I'm going to say it again in the 250 class. Look what happened when we went to Glen Helen.
Deja vu.
They didn't win. So that's what I'm saying is everybody thinks, well, oh, that's a sign. Oh, my God. Just go back and watch last year. The same thing happened, and we went to Glen Helen, and neither of them were close. Granted, Eli had a brake problem. It does not take anything with Eli was dominant all day. I mean, you knew right from the get-go that he was... I mean, when he goes out the first practice, the first lap, and goes 3 seconds faster than everybody else,
yep.
Granted, they dropped that, but you knew it was going to be a long day. But I'll say it again. Look what happened at Glen Helen. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well...
Yeah, but dude, Eli was so fast. I mean, and yes, I'm not arguing with you, mm-hmm. but hopefully Eli doesn't have a brake problem this year, so we get to actually see him ride Glen Helen.
But even the first moto, though, at Glen Helen last year, when he got his crap start and he worked his way into second, there was like... It was a big gap to him and Marv, but he never dropped the gap. Like, he never closed. So I'll just say that let's not get ahead of ourselves. They put themselves in the best possible position. And like I said, I'll get more to it when we go to the 250 class when we talk about that winner. But I don't think that if we're just going to base everything off what they did, well, I'm not on that boat. I'm not going to get all up in arms. Like, they went out and did what everybody, I think, I didn't think it, but a lot of people thought, well, does it really surprise anybody that those two guys won? Because I think a lot of people would have called that. Mm-hmm. You know?
But dude, Eli was so fast yesterday. Dude, that second moto, when he's going 3 to 4 seconds a lap faster than Marv, who is faster than everyone else, I'm like, wow. 2015 Eli showed up for the second half of this one.
But what did he do in the second moto? He still won, but what did he do? He crashed. yet again.
Yeah, tip over.
So what I'm saying is that...
Which I thought was stupid, too, okay? Why is he trying to go through all these corners without putting his feet down? Bro, we're not in Europe, okay?
He's not Kenny.
You are not a European rider. You're not Kenny. You're not Hurlings. You're not any of those guys, okay? Just put your goddamn foot out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I think that
he was trying to do that in a ton of corners.
It's hard to do with a roller.
He was trying to do it all the time, and I'm just like, what in the fuck?
It's hard to weight the pegs and then transition down to the bike coming off a roller. Now, if you're going to come off the roller and weight the pegs all the way through, that's fine. But you don't feel the initial unload of the suspension, and it's hard to do that. But he still won, but once again, he landed on the ground. So it's like, well, Eli did another Eli, so it's like, well, maybe he's going to do that more this year.
Yeah, but hey, maybe he needed to do that because all of a sudden he was running 219s after that.
Oh, he killed it.
Like, he went from running, like, pretty similar pace to, like, I'm going to run 219s because F this shit.
But all I'll say is that he did it last year, and Marv won Glen Helen, and Eli didn't have the points. He didn't have the points going into the third round. And then, so I'll just, because I know we have Eli Tomac fans that watch the show, don't get all excited just because your boy won, because he did it last year, and then we know how the next couple rounds was a rough stretch.
Maybe Kenny wins next week.
Maybe.
Doubtful.
Doubtful.
Really doubtful at Glen Helen.
I mean, everybody else would have to, like, die in the first turn.
Almost, yes. Because Glen Helen's going to be almost way worse because all the pressure on his wrist coming down.
Oh, coming down the hills, man. Dude, you're just, like, pushing into the forks. Yeah, it's going to be bad.
So...
But it wasn't a shock to me. I mean, you knew that from the first practice.
Yes.
So.
God, that red number 1 looks good on that green bike.
Maybe, hopefully he can hold it for more than 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been able to do it since.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it looked better on that red bike, but whatever.
It's a lot of red.
We'll get there.
I know.
So, anyway, all right, anything else 450-wise before we
No, not really. Not really.
Okay. How about Christian Craig with the start, though? Not a shock.
Actually, I'm more impressed with Bradley Taft getting 10th on a privateer Husky.
That actually was really impressive, yes.
Yes.
That was really impressive, so... All right, great, cool. We're moving on. 250s. This is going to get good. All right, 250 class here. Let's start with the younger kids and we'll work
How
our way
I called that shit and was completely right about the fact that he killed it that second moto.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Marchbanks.
Oh,
you want to talk about we can talk about Justin Cooper.
No. Marchbanks is fine to start with. I didn't even see where he ended up.
He ended 10th because he got
12.6 for 10 overall. Yeah, the first moto he kind of shit the bed. I was not impressed.
He just got stacked up in that group. What I thought was really funny about that though is the fact that he was 12th, Hart Raft was 13th, Enzo was 14th, and Jordan Bailey was like 16th. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it's just going to be a rookie day.
This is where all the rookies are.
Which is kind of where the rookies are just going to round out the teens. But no, man, he did what I said he was going to do. The second moto, and what was really weird to me is the fact that he was pushing forward, he got into a groove, and he actually passed Sexton and AP.
Yes.
And then just, like, stuffed it in that inside raw, and then just, like, never could get going again. I'm like, what was that?
He did. He just stuffed it in there and just paused and was like, well, shit.
Kind of did what Tomac did a year ago, that first moto, when he stuffed it in that same corner.
Oh, yeah.
Except it was a right-hander coming down the hill.
Yep.
But, I mean, dude, he killed it. Like, that second moto, like, he clearly shows that he has the pace to do it. He just rookie nerves.
Well, it was the best rookie, so I guess Justin Cooper 5'9" for 5th overall, but he's not really a rookie.
No,
he did ride a few rounds last year, so he has at least some sort of an idea. But overall, I mean, dude, all the rookies. I mean, fuck. I mean, you got
Lopes and Hartraff both were in the top 15.
Let's face it, they all except for Jordan Bailey beat Justin Hill. So
Jordan Bailey,
that's a good sign there.
And Jordan Bailey did better than I thought he would because I thought he would get like 25-25.
What is the best finish you think Justin Hill gets this year? I know we kind of talked about this, but let's just go.
What was his second moto? 13?
16, 13.
The second moto, he was actually running in 11th at one point. I think his best moto will probably be I think his best motos will be at Washougal, and I could see him going like 8-8 at Washougal because he's always done really well there. I mean, everywhere else, like, I don't know. That's probably where he's going to be most of the year, just in the teens.
Do you think he does better outdoors on a 450 next year?
Yeah, because he hates the 250 so much.
Okay. All right.
I literally think he's gotten to the point that he just doesn't even want to ride that thing.
All right, yeah.
He doesn't ride one during the week.
I just wondered. I just
I just think he's going to. Like, he doesn't ride dude, he rides a 450 during the week. He was riding a 450 during the week in Supercross when he was still on his 250. He just doesn't want to ride that bike. It doesn't fit his style.
So funny.
But
because he's going to get shit on so bad on that next year, but that's another discussion for another time.
Oh, well, yeah. Marchbanks, though, he's going to kill it this weekend at Glen Helen. He is fast at Glen Helen.
That kid is huge.
Dude, I told you. He's like,
I didn't realize he was so
he's
big.
the man-child, bro.
I watched one of the, was it Paula or something days?
Paula Pratt, probably.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit. Oh, God.
Dude, he's... Bless you.
We're good.
He's the man-child, dude. Dude, when he was on a Super Mini, he was like 5'9" when he was on a Super Mini.
He's ridiculous how
I mean,
big
he's only
he is.
17.
He makes that 250F look super small. It's unreal.
Dude, but like I said, he's going to do really well at Glen Helen this weekend.
It's unreal. So, all right, talk about somebody else. I got to sneeze some more or something.
Justin Cooper. I don't know, man. That first moto, yanks the start, and I think that he...
And leads for what, like...
15 minutes, maybe?
Well, I think it was 12. I got it, hold on, I got notes. I got it wrote down here.
But, dude, after all the hype that we had heard, oh, Cooper's going so fast, he's killing it. He's the fastest dude on the start team.
Yeah, it was only like 10 or 12 minutes because it was like 5 laps is what I had, so...
He was killing it, and he comes out, dude, like a ball of fire that first moto.
Yeah.
He is going for it.
Yes, because I didn't believe the hype. I was like, he ain't going to be that fast. And then he's just like in first, running away, and I'm like,
I will give him credit. If he can learn to harness that...
He could be a contender.
He could be a title contender.
Next year.
Well, yeah, this year, like I said, it's not. It's going to take him a year to. It'll take him a year to harness it. But
yes.
But when he rides that good, like, dude, when you hear, oh, he's the fastest guy in the class, outright raw speed.
Yes.
When he rides like that, like, there's no you can't argue that.
No.
Like, dude, he had what 3 seconds on lap 2.
Yeah, 3 or 4 seconds over Martin,
Zacco, Faulkner, Plessinger, everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, he was going for it, but you could tell, dude, it just screwed him for the rest of the day because he just
15 minutes in, hits the wall, and that was it.
And that's what happened in the second moto. And I don't get why these guys, and this has been going on for so long, and he's not, like I said, he's not a rookie, but I don't know why these team managers, especially when Will Hahn's his team manager, doesn't tell these guys, hey man, relax.
Well,
you do not need to throw it at the wall.
Will didn't have time yesterday.
Yeah,
he was racing, bro.
Yeah, he got third.
I know. He was right behind RV. Did you see RV on the podium just smiling and shaking that kid's hand that beat him? And I'm like, wow, RV's changed. Because before he would have been flipping him the bird and looked pissed off as he walked off.
I know that's a conversation for another day, but a 15-year-old B-rider whooped his ass.
Well, yeah. But the 15-year-old B-rider also probably weighs 60 pounds less than RV, dude. I don't care. And on a 125, like, come on, bro.
I don't care. It's Ryan Villapoto. I don't care.
I guess, but you said it yourself before when we were arguing about this in the group.
Was I right?
RV hasn't rode a 125.
Was I right? Was I right about it then?
Well, I guess, but he still got second, so...
I guess.
He beat everybody else.
So happen when
everybody else that you were running your mouth.
No, Ryan Sipes wasn't there.
Oh well, see, now he's got practice time now, dude.
No.
By the time Sipes shows up, dude, he's still gonna spank him. It's fine.
Yeah, you guys were wrong.
Totally
so it's okay. You guys were wrong. Anyways, Justin Cooper though. No, he hit the wall, and you could tell it was hindering him for the rest of the day because I think he had about 10 minutes in that second moto, and then he was just gassed.
Yep.
But if that kid can learn to harness that speed, man, and just learn to push and then when to settle in. Like, dude, he's going to be good for a long time. But I still think this year, most of the time, when people get everything sorted out, when we get a couple rounds in, he's probably just going to be a 10 to 12 guy. Because I don't think he can harness it. I don't think you can't learn that stuff on the fly. You can learn it by racing, but you can't implement it into your program just by going to the races. Like, you have to work on that every day. And I think by the time he gets it really figured out, it's probably going to be the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, but he was good. He surprised me. He really did.
Yep. Now let's talk about your boy.
Savachi or J-Mart?
Savachi.
Okay. What? Go ahead.
Well, you want to talk about how he shit the bed?
First moto was good. Second moto wasn't.
6'10" is not good for title contender, dude.
Who called him a title contender?
Who went 1-1.
Who told him a title contender?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did we?
Most of the end. Well, that's true. We were smarter than we were smarter than most of the industry guys this time.
Dude, when we
won one. Fuck yeah! That's it. Show's over. We're done. We called something no one else did.
It's been a long...
I'm out!
Guys,
I'm just kidding. I need that still. There's notes on there.
Guys, it's been a long year. We've been wrong about a lot of things this year, so when we get a win, it's great.
But I was right. 6'10" is a shit day for that guy.
But, well, yeah, for him.
So
he did the same thing last year.
What's the chances Genie's got the big whip out this week on his back?
Well, I will say that it's better than last year.
I'm talking Dominatrix shit at the goat farm this weekend.
Okay, we're going down. We're going down.
Whipping him
really
through the turn track.
Can we not go down that road? We can make another YouTube channel to talk about that kind of stuff. I don't want to. Anyways, dude, he rode like that last year though. He didn't do well. He did not start off the season well last year. So if I'm looking at it because I'm not all up in arms because I didn't call him for a title. Now if I called him for a title, I'd be worried. But I didn't. I just said wins. He did the same thing last year. Like I think he got. Did he get top 5 at Glen Helen?
I don't know.
I don't think he did. But then once he goes to the Thunder Valley, he wins. He gets the overall Thunder Valley.
So what's the chances he rides like this or worse all year and completely jacks up his 450 ride?
I don't see it happen. The reason why I don't see it happening is because he did the same thing last year.
I guess.
Like, if that's
I thought he went. No, Zach won last year.
No,
Never mind.
Zach won Hangtown. He won
2 years
16
ago,
when he won all those races before Cooper won.
Yeah.
No, man, he did the same thing last year. Like, if I'm looking at it as a title hopeful, then yes, I'm concerned. But if I'm somebody who just called him for wins, dude, he did the same thing last year. So what makes me think that anything's going to be different? Like, he did the same thing last year. He won 2 rounds. He got the overall 2 rounds later. Now, if he can get out of the box at Glen Helen and then go win Thunder Valley, then he's right back in the title hunt. I'm not calling him for a title. I'm still sticking by Jeremy, but what I'm getting at is that it's not like he did anything. Now, if he went like 15-15, then Houston, we have a problem. But he went 6-10. I think he probably maybe got like 5-8 last year. So it's like, wow, it's not that bad. I get what you're saying, but I didn't call him for a title, so it's not like I'm that worried.
I guess.
I mean, he was the best finishing pro circuit guy.
Well.
No.
I mean,
but it doesn't matter.
But the thing was, what Faulkner
he got
was
4th the first one.
yeah, and then had a bike problem.
But hey, man, you got. Well, I also think he was. I think he was hurting. I think he was.
I think he was too. I think his wrist was hurting.
But what I'm getting at is that he was the best finishing guy, and he just finished.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Savachi could have crashed too, and then only one kid finishes, like Mark picks.
Yeah. The rookie be the best finish on the team of the day. Oh, God, that'd have been awful.
Well, actually, you know what? He's not down there. Let's talk about Faulkner for a second. Were you shocked that he did that well the first moto after only being on the bike for maybe...
No, the kid's full of piss and vinegar.
Oh,
That didn't shock me at all, dude. I was completely like, oh, well, this is a thing. But then I started thinking like, well, he's been hurt. He's got that wrist is still jacked up no matter what he says. I'm like, dude, he ain't gonna finish here.
But didn't you think though that when he started to go backwards that first moto that he would have went way backwards? Like, dude, he got 4th.
Yeah, but didn't he go back? He didn't go back farther and then came.
They went back and forth like him. I think it was him, AP, Cooper. They went back and forth for a little bit. But still, dude, he got 4th.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it wasn't a bad first moto for him. And if he gets healthy throughout the rest of the year, I think he's going to really contend for some race wins the longer we go. Especially when you get somewhere like Washougal,
yeah,
where he's won already. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it didn't surprise me that much, but it's still.
I was just a little shocked. I thought when he started fading, he was going to go back further than that. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't shocked that his speed was there, because we all know that outright speed, that kid's on it. But I was just a little shocked that when he started going backwards, I'm like, oh, no, it's going to start derailing. He's going to start going down. He's going to start crashing 3 or 4 times like he did in Minneapolis. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, 4th. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
so that's what kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Troll before we get into the podium.
Were you a little underwhelmed with him yesterday?
Dude, isn't that Amart's life story?
7-3, 4th overall. Like, it's not a bad start.
He did the same thing he always does, though.
But it's just like...
The second moto, dude, he was trying to pace Jeremy and Zacho, and he did it for 2 laps, and then mentally, he's just like, oh, can't do it anymore.
Yeah, which is weird, because he didn't come back to Supercross, because he was like, oh, I'm just going to do outdoors.
Dude, he's been riding outdoors for, like, what, a month and a half now?
About 10 months.
Yeah, well...
10 months.
Technically, yeah, because he only rode 2 Supercrosses? Yes. Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't even finish the second one. He rode Oakland, got 5th, and then crashed at San Diego. Yes. So it's like he rode Supercross and a half. Yes. So, yeah. No,
outdoor specialist here.
Did you call him for a win this year?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look. We should write this shit.
Well, I know who I did, and I don't think you did, but what I was getting at is if you did, and then after seeing that, and I know, once again, I'm kind of contradicting myself, but being that it's A-Mart, would you still call him for a win after seeing that? Because, I mean, he did what he always does.
Because the top 2 guys are fast.
And that you know that Plessinger is going to get better. Sexton is going to have better days than that.
Yes.
Savachi eventually, and maybe even Hampshire is going to do better. So,
but I'm here to tell you, everyone from 3rd down has a lot of work to do to catch those top 2 dudes.
Kind of like the 450 class.
Yes.
They got a lot of work to do. I mean, it was like 15 seconds, I think. back to third. Back
Maybe,
to AP.
I don't know.
It was a gap. So let's talk about AP for a second. Better than last year.
He's not way behind, so we're ahead of the game here.
A track like that, where you're tiptoeing around some of the corners because how cambered out it is and then deep as it gets, as big as he is, and everybody's like, oh, you got the long legs, but you're worried about dabbing the foot on the inside of the base of the rut. It's hard for him because the bike, it's teeter-tottering, it's grabbing the edge of the tire and lifting, and as big as he is, being probably 10 pounds heavier than everybody else, it buries the bike more. And it's hard for him when you get deep, 3-foot deep ruts that have huge bases on the outside and inside. And it's hard for him because he is so big, so it's like, dude, he's never really been good at Hangtown.
I'm here to tell you, he did better than I thought he was going to do, because I thought he was going to come in with a championship hangover also. And it was going to take a few rounds before we really started seeing him ride decently.
I think it's going to take... I'm not going to call for a win right away, but I wouldn't be shocked that if he does this the next 2 rounds, we get the break, and then he goes to High Point and wins.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at. I think that it's going to be a few rounds, and just the way the West Coast tracks break down, it's not AP style.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's not AP style. So, 3-3, third in the points. I don't know.
He didn't go 3-3, he went 3-4.
Oh, that's right.
Martin
Amar got third.
third.
Sorry, yeah. But still third, way better than he did last year. So, I mean, dude, if you're title contention, which it sounds like he wants to win both, it's better. It's better than last year. It's way better. So, just got to keep it rolling.
Yep. So, all right. We got the top 2 left here.
Which, once again, everybody else got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Which is our hard. Well, I guess it's good for that. You know what? Maybe everybody at MX Sports knew that Jeremy and Zacho and then Marvin and Eli were going to be so much better. They gave everybody a chance to get their bearings and gave them a 2-week break early. Maybe they called this. Maybe they just called it. The teams were like, hey, man, are you guys better than everybody else? Yeah, okay. We're going to give everybody else a shot.
We'll just give you guys a break early. That way you guys can go back, regroup, and come back and maybe get within like 5 seconds of these top 2 dudes, because this is just, dude, I mean, and realistically, dude, Zach won by 10 seconds both motos, didn't he?
No, Jeremy closed the gap that second. The first moto, Zach cruised around the last lap. J-Mar dropped it down to like 4 seconds the second moto, but the first moto, he cruised for the last lap.
But dude, okay, so that last lap of qualifying that Osborne threw down, I know Martin beat him. That was ridiculous, because we didn't get to see Martin's lap. No, but seeing Zach's, ridiculous. And I know what you're saying. It wasn't sustainable. No. That's fine. It wasn't. I'm not going to say it was. But, dude, that was insanely fast.
And when he rides like that, that's what concerns me when he goes to the 450 class. Yeah. When he rides like that. But, yeah, no, I mean, Zacho went 1-1. Same thing he did last year. J-Mart battled him for, well, I think it was like 3 laps the second moto, and then Zacho got away. Once again, Hangtown is one of those tracks that if you're that close in speed and you lose a 10th here, a 10th there, it's really hard to make it up unless you're going to bonsai, and it's too early in the year to put it on the deck, especially the way Jeremy's season started last year. Zacho was clearly better. I'm not going to argue that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He straight up won. He was better. But I'll say the same thing I did in the 450 class. What happened last year? He went 1-1 at Hangtown, and then he got beat down at Glen Helen. And then he got beat down at Thunder Valley. Sure. The difference this year is the guy who was second in the points going into Glen Helen last year. It wasn't J-Mart.
Ask me this.
Was it AC?
Svachi?
No, I think it was Cincerello.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it was Cincerello. What I'm getting at is that when Zacho left Hangtown, he had a pretty decent gap. Because I think whoever got second went like 2-4 or something, or it was more than 6 points.
It was 4-4, and he had 16 or 17 points on him. And I only know that because it's in that new Great Outdoors movie.
Okay, so that's my point. He had a huge gap.
Huge lead. Yep.
Huge gap already after the first round. And then he goes to Glen Helen. And then he doesn't win again until High Point. No, he didn't even win again. Did he get? No.
I don't know.
He didn't even get the overall for a couple rounds.
Me,
he didn't get the overall for a couple rounds. Let's just put it that. I'm not really sure. I don't think he got the overall for a couple rounds. So what I'm getting at is that he had such a huge gap going into the second round that even after he got stomped for a couple rounds, the second place couldn't make up the gap.
Yep.
J-Mart's got 6 points. If J-Mart goes 1-1 this weekend and Zacho gets 2-2, we're right back in.
Yeah, then we're tied.
So what I'm getting at is that, yes, Zacho and Eli were clearly better than everybody else. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's not one point you can argue about that. What I'm saying is that let's not put a lot of emphasis on it because both of them got stomped the next round they went into Glen Helen. And maybe they both go 1-1 again. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, but okay, but Eli didn't really get stomped. He had an issue.
The first moto he got stomped.
He rode a second moto with no front brake.
Yes.
Glenn Helen.
No, that was out of his control. But the first moto, okay. Well, then Zacho got stomped.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Then we'll argue that then. Zacho got yarded, and he got yarded again at Thunder Valley.
Yep.
And then High Point, him and J Mart split moto wins or something like that. I can't exactly remember. So what I'm getting at is I think what happened yesterday, and I think the GL made a comment about it, but he didn't really get deep into it, is people come in with different expectations. We all know that. That's nothing new. That's not a revelation. I think what happened is that Eli came in and he was riding outdoors for a month, only riding Supercross on the weekends, and kind of like what Baggett and Barsha were doing. And let's be real, we all knew the title was over with after round 4. When you have a 60-point... Eli wanted to come in and he wanted to stamp that shit. Like, I am the baddest ass dude on the planet, and I'm going to yard you all. Zacho, kind of on the other side of that, he won his title. But I think that Zacho wanted to prove, hey man, not going to the 450 class, I'm going to defend this title. And what I noticed is that Zacho's sprint laps were better than J-Mart's, but his average lap, they were about the same. So I think what would happen is, and that's where I'm getting at, the GL alluded to it, is J-Mart, his average laps, he'd inch away. He'd get a 10th here, a 10th there. You know, he'd gain a second. There was one lap he went 2 seconds faster than Zacho, but then Zacho wicked it up, J-Mart couldn't do it again, and then he pulled it back out. And I think that was the difference is that Zacho was just willing to lay it on the line more. Because I don't see Zacho winning every race by 10 seconds. No. I don't think that Zacho is that much better than J-Mart. I think that Zacho came in, and he even said it, his bike's the same as last year.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's
so it's
like, said, like, I haven't done any testing.
Yeah, how can you build on that? Like, you can't get better than a championship bike.
Yep.
J-Mart's bike's new, and I'm not blaming it on the bike. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving J-Mart a pass. He just got straight up beat. What I'm just getting at is that let's pump the brakes on the fact that, hey, Zacho and Eli won. They won last year, and then they got beat at Glen Helen.
So what happens if they go 1-1, both of them at Glen Helen, too?
Then they're just better than everybody right now. Okay. But what so what happens if they get the overall, but they do it with like a 3-1?
Yeah, I know.
And I get what you're saying is that then they're just better than everybody right now. But the difference is that now Jeremy is not that far behind, and you're racing a 2-time champion. You're racing a guy that knows what it takes to win a championship. And when J-Mart won his championships, he didn't have the points right away. He built and built and built and then went on this win streak. And we know that other guys are going to get wins. We know that these guys aren't going to be the best 2 all year. We all believe that they're going to be the E2, but like we talked about, Plessinger, Sexton, Savacci, whatever. They're going to get wins. So this is going to get all mixed up. I just think what it was is Zacho was willing to lay it on the line, and everybody else didn't want to try to, bury themselves into the ground.
Dude, Zach's bike looked better than everyone else's though yesterday. Did. Like his bike was so dialed compared to you watch like J-Mart, and the front looked soft. But Zach's was just like playing.
Oh, it was just stuck
to it.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It was plush.
So yeah, but okay.
Great. I mean, I
don't really have an argument. I mean, dude, I'm over here driving the Zach train, and we just went 1-1 in like pretty dominant fashion here. So,
and that's what I'm getting at is, I don't have anything to say. Like, you can't argue that. But I'll just say is that it's not 16 points going into the second round. So if he doesn't win this weekend and J-Mart goes 1-1, they're tied.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what happens if that? Then we're going, and that's why I said what I said to you yesterday. If J-Mart would have won, you'd have said the same thing to me. Oh, it's a long season.
It is a long season.
Dude, what happens if Justin Cooper just shocked the world and went 1-1 yesterday? Are any of us going to believe that Justin... Now, I know it's different with Zacho and J-Mart because they're champions, but that's what I'm getting at. Eli Tomac went out and won his rookie season at Hangtown, and he didn't win the championship that year.
Yep.
Now, it's different with Zacho because he is a champion, but it's just... Too many people do the same thing with Anaheim 1. They're like, oh my God, they're going to win the championship. They're going to win the championship. The 2 winners of Anaheim 1 didn't win the championship. So it's like, who knows? Maybe we go to Glen Helen this weekend and both of them just get stomped. Eli's good at Glen Helen. Zacho's not really good at Glen Helen.
No.
He doesn't have a good track record with Glen Helen.
No, Zach's going to be in maintenance mode. Eli's probably going to go out with the intention of, I'm going to stomp everyone just to prove last year was a fluke.
So here's my question to you. And we'll get to our winners like we always do. But here's my question to you, and I want to hone in on what you just said. Maintenance. Do you really think Zacho can do that this year? Because I don't think he can do it. Because if he has 6 points and he goes into, not protect mode, because we're only going in the second round, we're feeling things out, I don't think he can do that this year. Last year, he was so much better than everybody else early that he could afford to drop a couple rounds. Dude, if he goes in and he struggles the next 3 rounds like he did last year, dude, he's going to have a 15-point gap behind J-Mart if J-Mart ends up winning these, which we don't know. But last year, like I said, he didn't win a race until High Point. But he had such a big gap on everybody else because everybody else didn't know how to stay off the ground. If he goes in and does this maintenance thing or whatever, you know, whatever adjective you want to use, dude, he's going to have 15 points by the time we go to the halfway mark, and he's going to be down. And that, like, so do you really believe that he can actually do that?
I mean,
or do you want, like,
as good as him and Martin are over everybody else, dude, I think he can go into maintenance mode and still go 2-2.
No. Racing J-Mart for the championship.
Oh, well.
I'm not worried about everybody else. I truly believe that it's going to come down to those two and then Plessinger, but those two are going to win. One of them two are going to win the championship. I believe J-Mart, you believe Zacho. But what I'm getting at is that he can't do that. Like, he can't have a 4-moto bad stretch.
Yeah, but what's a 4-moto bad stretch? If a 4-moto bad stretch is he goes 2-2-2 and Martin goes 1-1-1-1-1.
You're down by a lot of points.
So now you're down. So now you go from up 6 to down 6, basically.
No. If he goes 2-2-2 for the next 4 rounds and J-Mart goes 1, he's down 12.
No, because he's up 6 already.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So think about it. You're going to have one round. So even the next round, he's going to go down 6. So
still, though, like, he can't. I don't think he can afford to do that like he did last year.
I mean, to be down by 6, it's not like he hasn't come back from being down points before to win a title.
I think if you're going to jockey back and forth between these two, I think that because right now they're so much better than everybody else, one of them cannot afford to have a bad moto. Okay, so his bad motos weren't 2-2-2s last year for that 3-round stretch. He was like 4-2, 7-2.
Yeah, but do you really think these other guys are going to beat him at this point? Because that bike, Glenn was good, and that bike was so good.
Glenn Helen, he went 4-2, and Ferendis beat his ass the second moto. Yeah. And then he goes to Thunder Valley, and Joey Savacci and Amart and Mitchell and all them beat him.
It could. I mean, yeah.
Well, so what? I'm not trying to create crap, but I'm just getting at is the fact that you said maintenance. I don't think there's any possibility that he can do that. Because if he has 4 or, well, technically he had 5 bad motos last. No.
Dude, I mean, Ryan Dungey won the Supercross title with only winning 2 races and having one handed to him. So,
but he wasn't racing guys that could win every weekend. You're racing a guy that can legit win every weekend if you're not winning.
Pretty sure Tomac won like 9 races. So
when?
In 16 here, 17? No, what was that?
17.
17. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when Jason Anderson has 70 points on you, what are you going to do about it?
What are you talking about? I'm talking. Okay, so.
You're talking about 17. Okay, so he won 8 this past year and he didn't. That's different.
Yeah, but I was talking because you were saying, well, like, he can't do this with guys that can win. But well, I'm pretty sure Dungey proved that can happen.
But yeah, but he raced guys that would go 2-2, 5-9.
Well,
I don't see J-Mart because I think, like I said, I think that J-Mart and Zacho are so much better than everybody else right now that the same thing goes for Zacho.
I mean, you say you don't see J-Mart doing that, but we haven't seen J-Mart on a Honda put together a season like he has. I mean, granted, you know, same dude, whatever, but dude, he hasn't put together a season on a Honda yet outdoors. So
no,
so we don't know if it's a thing. Like, dude, maybe he blows that bike. I mean, look how many bike problems Hampshire had last year.
But the bike's different this year. Okay. The motor's not the same, so that's not going to happen.
Well, hopefully not, but it could. I mean, we don't know. It's not tested yet. We haven't seen it.
Well, no bikes blew up yesterday.
Well, no, it didn't. No,
I'm just getting at the point is that I think this is going to go down once again to Iron Man, but I don't think that Zacho, my biggest thing is that he went 1-1 last year and then had bad stretches for the next 3 rounds.
The biggest thing is that you don't like Zach, and the problem is that Zach's
I don't like
the
Zach.
Man right now.
No, I don't like Zach.
And the Zach train, dude, we're rolling. We're full steam ahead, bro. We're 1-1. We're starting the year good again. And we're just going to keep the train right on rolling. And we're going to be the only rider in history to win 4 titles
at 28
4
years
seasons.
Old. At 28 years old on a 250.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
And absolutely not.
How so?
Because when you look back in the record book, all it's going to say is, oh, look, Zach Osborne won 4 titles in 4 seasons.
And then got a goose egg when he went to the big boy class.
Perfect. Dude, I'll tell you what. So I was thinking about this yesterday because I had a lot of time because obviously outdoors takes a long time. If Zach somehow, okay, and you know I'm on this train too of when he goes to 450s, the Zach train's going to stop rolling so hard here.
Oh, it's going to stop. It's going to come to a complete stop.
But if he somehow manages to start picking off a couple of wins, which is highly doubtful, okay, I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to go with it's more than 5% probability, okay? I'll give 5% he picks off a win. We've seen stranger things, okay? Hell, Chad Reed whole shot at a race and led for like 5 laps this year. Whatever. Anyway, if he somehow picks off a win, though, in maybe even not next year, maybe even the second year in the class,
if he even races that much longer,
could spell an issue for guys because he runs so hard on confidence.
But you can't do that on a 450. He can't ride like he does on a 250F on that 450.
Dude, I mean, Justin Hill came off the fucking...
No. That's
skill and fucking won it.
But that's the thing, though.
Well, so it's like...
That's the thing, though, is that Zach Osborne, if he tries to ride that 450 like he does his 250, for instance, that lap that we saw in practice...
Yeah,
he will kill himself.
But I'm not saying he's gonna ride like that. I'm just saying if he can figure it out and he gets a win somehow miraculously by literally an act of God here, he pulls a win on a 450, whether it be outdoors or indoors, whatever season we're in. Dude, it could be issues like he could start putting some stuff together at that point because he is such a confidence-based rider.
And he'd be 30.
Doesn't matter if he's got the confidence. Justin Brayton's 34. How many times was he on the podium?
But Justin Brayton rides Supercross only.
He's 34. How many times was he on the podium this year?
But he rides Supercross only. We're talking about his 450 career. So outdoors, Justin Brayton doesn't ride outdoors.
This is also
at 30 years old, there's a reason why when guys hit 30 years old, they peak.
Okay.
James Stewart couldn't do it, and I'm sorry, James Stewart has more talent in his pinky finger than Zach Osborne has in his whole body.
Well, James Stewart was on the couch for a year and a half.
No, I'm saying James Stewart hadn't been James Stewart outdoors since like 2011, and then he went in and he ragged it. I get what you're saying, dude, but it's just not gonna happen. If Zach Osborne wins this championship, great. I'm still gonna bag on him.
I'm not even gonna say he's a championship contender.
Dude, he's not even gonna be a top 5 contender.
If he freaking pulls a win off. I'm just saying all the.
Anyways.
All right, let's quit arguing about this. We've gone way long enough. Let's just wrap this up. Winners for next week.
You know, I'll go Blake Baggett, Jeremy Martin.
Think Baggett's going to win at Glen Helen?
He's good at Glen Helen. I think that Baggett and Tomac split wins, and I think the same thing happens in the 250s. Zacho and J Mart split wins, but I think ultimately J Mart and Baggett get the win the second moto. Because, like I said, man, for 250 class, Zacho's not good. Zacho's not good at Glen Helen. Like, dude, he just got beat down last year. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and things can change, but he's not good at Glen Helen. Plain and simple. And as for Eli, I don't think the way that when he rides like that, it's the same thing we always say with Eli. It's not sustainable. He has not proven in how many years has it been that he can 17 in Supercross, I guess you could say, but he hasn't proven outdoors that he can put back-to-back weekends together like that. He's won, but he's never ridden like that consistently.
Who are you talking about, Tomac?
Yes, Tomac, not Zach Osborne.
What about 15?
And then what happened at Thunder Valley?
Well, yeah.
So that's my point. He hasn't proven he can do it for long stretches. So I don't think he does it again.
It's not a long stretch. It's only second week.
For them, it's a long stretch. When you've been riding that long, it's a long stretch to do anything.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say, this is going to shock you.
It's probably not.
Martin's going to go 1-1.
That actually did. Wait a minute. What? After all this arguing and you just fighting me, where did that come from?
Martin's good at Glen Helen, man. I think he's going to go 1-1.
So we're going to be tied going into Thunder Valley?
Yes.
That could be interesting.
Okay, so I think Martin's going to go 1-1.
Okay.
And win, and we're going to be tied. I do think Zach's going to go 2-2. I think everyone else is too far behind at this point for anyone else to get in the top 2 at this point. That's what I'm going to say on that.
I'd say Marchbanks would be the only close one.
I think that kid's going to hit the deck. He may run up front, but I think he's going to hit the deck.
But he doesn't crash much. But anyways, who's your 450 guy?
Eli's going to go 1-1.
So you think it like by a lot?
Yes.
Over Marv?
Yes. No. Barsha. I think Marv's going to be 3rd.
Okay. New thing to this segment. What guys do you think after watching that, and we'd have to pull it back up, but I think you have fresh in your mind, what guys do you think right now in both classes, it could be any guy, think that has to turn their weekend around? What guy, like, if they got 10th, what guys in both classes do you think needs to turn their weekend around and do better at Glen Helen?
Joey Savacci for the 250s for one.
Okay.
I think he is.
That's fine.
He's in dire need of he needs to turn it around.
Okay.
450s. Man, I don't know with 450s because all the top guys were up top, pretty much.
So could we say Kenny?
No, because I don't think Kenny is going to feel that need yet. I think Kenny feels good that he even was out, finished both motos, and got it, and was, what, 6th in the first one there. So I think he feels fine about that. And if he goes in and, say, gets in the top 10 this weekend, I think he feels okay about that. So I don't... Yeah, I think Baggett is going to feel the need to at least get
go to Glen Helen
on the box. Let's put it that way, on the box.
Okay.
So...
I'm going to go 250s. I'm actually going to go Shane McElrath. That was very, very bad.
Here we are. We didn't even talk about Shane.
Dude, he was
that was horrible.
He didn't do anything, dude.
I know,
he was
so
18th.
far back.
He was at 18th. Dude, he was in 18th for 4 laps at one point. He couldn't get around Jordan Bailey. He couldn't get around Jordan Bailey, and I'm like, I know we didn't see it, but I'm watching the timing, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, you can't get around the Rook? And the 450 class, you know what? Honestly, I'll probably... It's probably going to shock you. I'll say Phil. Because I think Phil, if he wants to keep on that ride, I think that he needs to get closer to the top 5. I know that that's really... But if Weston really does have these torn ligaments, which nobody really knew about, which is another guy that did really well, if he's got these ligament problems, and it's looking like it's going to be a long year for JGR, not worn... I think Phil needs to be closer to the top 5. Because what? They're saying Bogle's going to come back at High Point, I think?
Maybe.
Okay. If Phil has 2 more bad rounds, like, I don't know if they even bother with him. Because I think that they're thinking, okay, Weston's going to be a top 10 guy all year long. He's shown the speed. He got top 5. And I think they're kind of hoping with the lack of depth, Bogle can at least get back in and be 8 to 12. So what would be the point of having Phil if Phil's just another guy that's the same spot as Bogle?
What did Alex Ray do yesterday?
He doesn't come back till this weekend.
Oh, that's right. He didn't race yesterday. That's why I didn't see him.
Yeah, everybody was saying the same thing.
I know. I forgot.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no. Phil,
if he wants to have a ride.
Yes, if he wants to keep riding for JGR at this point.
Because I don't see him going to the 250 like Mathis and
no.
He's not riding a 250, dude. No. He will grenade that thing every moto.
Were you waiting when Blows landed on him? Were you waiting for the throat slit gesture on TV? Because I was. I thought for sure he was going to do it.
I think he was thinking he blew his knee out, dude.
Yeah, something.
His rear tire landed on him, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I think he just went like this, and I'm like, the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And then we saw it from the side of me, I'm like, oh, dude, he just blew his knee out.
Yeah.
Because he just went like limp, dude. He instantly went, yep.
Yep. He just like let out. At first I thought it was a bike problem.
Yeah, I thought his bike grenaded.
Yeah, or something. Or he like, or Blows like land. I knew Blows landed on him. I could see that from every angle. I could tell.
Yep.
But I thought, yeah, he fucked something up on his bike, like hit a switch or something on the right side, and it just made it go. But yeah, no. Then it was maybe something. But he obviously is okay. So
I just think he has to do better if he wants to keep a ride. Not in the sense I think he did well, but I think if he wants to keep that ride, because like I said, I think if he goes 9-9 for the next 2 rounds. J-Bone's going, well, dude, we got a guy that we think can go 8-12, so really what's the point of having you on the team?
Yep. So all right, cool. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings. Hangtown wrap-up. Please subscribe. Follow us on all the other social media thing, Instagram, Facebook, all that crap. Go down below, click the Amazon links, click the Patreon links, click the Teespring links, buy that sick new t-shirt, hoodie, tank top that I designed.
Hoodie, t-shirt, tank top.
Because it's awesome. And we're actually going to get some of those too. And we will see everybody next week to wrap up Glen Helen.